Hello! How's everyone doing? Oh, I'm just about to sneeze. This was awful timing to... Excuse me. How's everyone doing? Excuse me. I want to thank you guys for the reception on the first journal video. It's done really well. It's nice to see that you guys want more of it, so that's what we're doing. I think it'll be something I do maybe once or twice a month rather than once every week. I'll kind of be a little flexible with it, I think, is the plan right now, and we'll see if that plan changes. So I got a few questions. I asked you guys to submit some questions, and you have, and there were a lot of comments. So Hobo was very nice, and she summarized some of the questions because there were a few repeated questions. So we're going to be doing that at the end of the video. We're going to start with summarizing the last 2 weeks, talk a little bit about how some other videos have performed and some things I've noticed. So that's it. It was December. December is usually my most profitable month on YouTube. And I double checked this with a couple of other people working with YouTube, and they noticed the same thing as me. This year, ads weren't as high paying for Christmas as they usually are. Usually Christmas time, holidays, really, really, really good. Like way better paid. This year, pretty similar to August or whatever. It wasn't that big of a change. Obviously, it was still a good month, but that boost I usually get in revenue from Christmas time wasn't there this year. Very interesting. I'm not sure why, to be honest with you. That would have to take some talking to people who handle ads to be able to tell me why they weren't as high paid. Maybe the economy is not doing as well, so companies aren't putting in as much marketing costs. I have read a few predictions on that the last couple of years, especially the last year, that companies won't be paying as much for marketing, which I haven't noticed in sponsored videos. Sponsorships, I still get the same lovely deals, but maybe in ads, we're seeing it now that their marketing budgets aren't as high at the moment. Still doing well. It wasn't low, but it just wasn't that classic holiday boost. So we had a few really hyped videos in terms of like hype meter. You have The Devil in Me, Battle of the Boys, and Best of 2022. These 3 videos went up within a week of each other. So it was a lot of work getting it all sorted, a lot of hype around it. I'm really happy with The Devil in Me. So I looked at the last 2 years of how I've done the thumbnails and titles of the Dark Pictures anthology series. The first one did really well. Let me get it up here for a sec so I can quote it. The first one with Flash, I should say, not Man of Medan, which I played on my own. We called it Little Hope Broke Us, but not in the way you'd expect. And I really like the thumbnail. I look crazy, Flash is crying, I can't do this. Really good thumbnail title, and it's done really well. Last year's, I don't like that thumbnail, and I don't like the title. The thumbnail I remember struggling with. I don't like it when it's clean cut like that. And the We Love It. It's still done well, of course. It's done really well, which I'm still pleased with. But yeah, I don't like the thumbnail. I don't like that format of like clean cutouts. I'd rather have a scuffed cutout of a person and put him in on my webcam if I'm putting Flash in. And I don't like the title, Our Favorite Franchise is Back with Another Game. Looking at that now, I think that only makes sense in the first week. And then like, if you look at it now, I don't know. It's good as a new title. But as soon as it's been a few months, it's like, well, that game is old now. So I'm not a huge fan. It doesn't live as long, that kind of title. It doesn't age well, I should say. But it has still done well. But my point is, I looked at that for this year's Dark Pictures inspiration, and I spent probably an hour and a half trying to get a good thumbnail, and I ended up with this, which I'm really happy with. Both the title and thumbnail, you can tell, is very inspired by the Little Hope title and thumbnail. So far, it's performing well. It's doing good reception, and I'm looking forward to this year. It had to be a 2-parter because there's so much good stuff. So there's going to be a part 2 coming out in January. Flash is almost back from his holiday. So he'll be getting started on that. So hopefully we'll see that in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. I spent maybe an hour and a half on the thumbnail for Battle of the Boys. Really wanted it to be good. Last year's thumbnails were good, but I don't know if they look so good for new viewers. This year I wanted to focus a bit on new viewers kind of being enticed by this thumbnail. So I went with something that kind of sounds a little exciting, like that really summarizes what the game's about. 2 Tickets to France, I Take the Shotgun. I think it really summarizes the video. And I'm very happy with the title. I just changed it, actually, removed Christmas from it. Used to have, we paid for real life Christmas gifts. But I removed Christmas now because Christmas is over. Really pleased with that. Really good thumbnail. I love a good thumbnail. Like that makes me, genuinely puts me in a really good mood when I have a good thumbnail. And then, of course, the best of. Funniest moments of 2022. I actually named this, I looked at previous best ofs. And the best of 2020 has pretty much the same views as the best of 2021. And I think that comes down to the fact that the 2021 best of is called Funniest Moments of 2021, you know? Whereas the best of 2020 was more something like best of Tio's best of 2020. And the fact that they got the same amount of views where one was uploaded 2 years ago, one year, tells me that funniest moments of the year of 2020, of 2021 does much better. So I've changed the title of the 2020 best of now. And obviously the 2022, I went the similar route. Very happy with that thumbnail format. I think it speaks volumes as to what the video format is. The thumbnail kind of reflects on that. So videos have done well. I've noticed for December that Pico Park has popped off. This video was uploaded, like 2 years ago? This is where friendship ends. Love that. It's such a good thumbnail and title. Yeah, it was uploaded a year and 3 months ago. And just December, it's gotten over 200,000 views. This means that it's popped off and just gone, like, I like to call it mini viral. Yeah, it got 200,000 views in December. I do know that Smitty played it with his friends, and that's probably I looked at where the views came from, and some of them came from his video, and one of his friends uploaded a video as well, and they came from there. But not all of them. So what I think happened is when I look at it, also search results, people searching for Pico Park, probably after his video went up. I think Pico Park just in general got boosted on YouTube from this. And I'm really happy with the thumbnail I made for Pico Park because a lot of YouTubers play Pico Park and they're just 4 or 5 people. Whereas my video it's 8 of us. And I think the thumbnail really shows that it's like, this is full on chaos. What happens when you have 8 people playing Pico Park? And I think it's very clickable for that. I mean, if you look at Smitty's, I believe there was 4 of them. So if you're watching that and you see, pops up and suggested, oh, here's someone who's playing as 8. I think even though you've just watched a Pico Park video, you'll want to watch that just seeing that it's twice the amount of people, you know? Yeah, so it's really boosted my my Pico Park video, over 200,000 views. Just the last 48 hours, 30,000 views. It's actually got a bit of an uptick today. It's having about 1,000 views per, the last few hours, it's at 1,000 views per hour. So for an old video, this is really good. It's given me, just this month, I've gotten 1.2 thousand new subscribers from it. And about $500. So that was a nice little boost. So that's how videos are doing. I have a little notepad here talking about what I need to talk about. So I noticed something with YouTube, actually, this month. And I talked to some friends who work with YouTube to see if they've noticed the same. And they did say, it's too soon to say if there's a big change. But in December, I noticed that my videos, the first 24 hours aren't getting quite as many views as they usually do. But then the following 2 to 3 days after the first 24 hours, it catches up. So after a week's time, my videos have a similar amount of views as they usually do. But rather than it being a high amount the first 24 and then following it's kind of adjusted like this. Not sure what's going on there. It's too short of a time to kind of draw any conclusions, but whether YouTube's changed their system in some way or if it's just a holiday thing, maybe people are more busy right now, so they can't watch right away. And so they look up the video when they have time because they're busy celebrating with family and stuff like that. Maybe it's something like that, or maybe there's something deeper to it. We'll see how that progresses in the coming months. So how's streaming going? Streaming has been tough. I haven't streamed in like a week now, week and a half maybe. It's a mix of my mental health taking a hit, but to be honest, it's mainly I don't have any. I'm not feeling inspired. There aren't any games that I'm super excited about streaming. Well, I am now. Now that I've been off for a bit, I'm kind of like, oh, I could stream this. But the reason I haven't streamed much in December is a big reason is because I'm struggling finding games that I think will be fun to stream. I'm playing a lot off stream and recording. I'm playing, we hopped on CSGO a lot the last few days and playing Overwatch. But then with holidays as well, it's just been a little tough. So, and I always feel that I know there's two different mental outlooks you can have on streams. A lot of streamers stream daily, or they have a set schedule, and they're like, I have to stream today, I have to stream today. And that works for them. But for me, that doesn't work. My style, I need to have energy for my streams, and I need to want to be there. And if I don't, I don't think majority of viewers won't mind short term if I'm on and I'm kind of meh. But long term, it's not good. For me, I feel that with streaming, I need to be there. I need to want to have fun. And that way I have fun. That way the viewer has fun. So I don't mind taking time off from streaming. I'm still working. But from streaming, I don't mind not streaming for a while if I'm not feeling that mood. Because even though I lose revenue on it, obviously, and will lose subs, my sub count's going to go down on Twitch. Long term, I think it's better. So I'm going to be hopping on this week and trying to get more into it. I'm going to try out a few games, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah. But that's okay. It's not like a major problem. It happens every now and then that I just kind of like, ugh. No. I do there's some games I like playing off stream. Games like CS are a lot of fun off stream. I don't mind not streaming that. And Overwatch was fun streaming the first couple months, but now I'm also kind of, I don't know. I think in the beginning when you stream Overwatch, a new game like that, you get a lot of casuals coming in and they're enjoying it as well. But then as time goes on, it's more just daily Overwatch players who watch. And so the chat isn't quite as fun either. So just streaming experience will maybe go down a little in entertainment for me with games like that. Not to say it's still not fun, but there are certain games I think are fun to play off stream. And I still record, obviously, so any funny moment or highlight gets put in a video. That's how I feel about streaming. A little bit of an insight. So with that, because I had more time and I'm like, okay, I'm not stressed about streaming, I started planning my setup. So I'm looking at my setup, right? And I've been talking about how I'm going to change the monitors. I'm looking to upgrade to 240 hertz. And this is a long... So I've delayed my setup video for so long. And now I'm like, okay, let's upgrade my monitors. I've got a new computer, which has arrived. I'm doing some sponsored streams with PC Specialist. They let me build a computer with them, anything I wanted. So I've got like a maxed out computer on my left that I'm about to install and run some tests on. So that's the plan there. And then I'm going to upgrade my monitors. It's got a 4090 in it. So I'm upgrading my monitors to 240 hertz because Corsair, we won the Fall Guys Corsair tournament when we played with Spazzy. And for that, they gave us all a Corsair Xenon monitor. It's this big 45-inch, like, ultra-wide monitor, and it's 240 hertz. Obviously, I can't stream on ultra-wide, so but I still want to use it. So I'm upgrading my setup to 240 hertz all across. I have a guy I've been talking to. His name's Rico, and he knows a lot more about this than me, and he explained that, because I was like, so it's much better, right, if you sync up your hertz. Like, there's a lot of issues I have that I feel are because I have one with 144 hertz and then two 60 hertz monitors. He was like, yeah, like in general, there's a lot of headaches that become a lot smoother if you sync it. So I'm going to sync it. I'm going to sync them all to 240, and they're all going to be 240 hertz. And then And there's, okay, now I'm going deep, but that's the plan right now. But because I haven't been streaming, that was the plan. And now I'm dreaming about redoing my setup completely. I've had this desk for 5 years, 6 years now. It's a huge desk. It's 2.2 meters by like 1.4 or something. It's humongous. It's a corner desk and it's raisable. The thing is, half of my desk always just has random crap on it that I'm just delaying to putting away. I don't need that much. I need quite a lot because I have a lot of monitors on and stuff. But the desk space itself, I don't need this much. So I'm looking at some new desks, and I found a desk model that I really like from Secret Lab called the Magnus Pro, and it's got really good. The other thing with this is I've got cable management sorted now, but it's not ideal. It's like a little cage that's drilled or screwed into the desk on the other side. It keeps falling off when I rage because I bang and then it falls, and it's just not. This desk stresses me out just a little bit, and I think I'm ready for a more modern solution. So now I'm looking at redoing my whole office. So that's the plan. So I looked at the desk, and unfortunately it only arrives, if I order it now, it'll arrive in like late Feb, early March. But we've emailed them saying, it's good advertising. Are you able to send us one? And in return, obviously I'll mention your brand and talk about it. Bit of a sponsored vibe, and we'll see what they say. I'm hoping they'll say yes so that I get it sooner. We'll see. So that's the plan right now. So the setup video is still waiting until I've figured all of this out. Since I have more time to think when I'm not streaming, I've just been like, oh, okay. And there aren't a lot of games I want to play in January either. So my thought process was, well, why don't you spend that time redoing your office instead? So in my mind now, it's gone from like a 20% change to 100%. I would just redo everything. That would be a lot of fun. I'd probably film it and show you what I'm doing for Morteo. Something like that. But part of that upgrade is an audio change. I'm trying to avoid Voicemeeter, the software, because I think it's generally quite a crap. It's good for what it does for a casual, but if you have a lot of different audio lines, there's a lot of issues that pop up with a virtual audio software like Voicemeeter. Not the main reason I want to avoid it is because there's a delay. I've mentioned this when playing horror games, but there's always about 1 to 150 millisecond delay to my headset. I'd say it's closer to 150 usually. And you can usually not tell unless I'm playing a horror game. Then you, the viewer, can tell, because sometimes my scares are a little delayed to the scare because the audio is what scares me and it comes late. That's the biggest reason I want to change it. Also, I just want a smoother experience with less glitches. So I got recommended, excuse me. I got recommended the Beacon, and I've been trying it now for a week, and so far so good. No problems. No delay either. No delay. And I can go deeper into that. In fact, I can have Rico, the tech guy I've been talking to, who recommended me this, for my tech deep dive that I'll inevitably do here. I can have him come on. He'd love that, I'm sure, and explain exactly what it is that the Beacon does differently to Voicemeeter. Because at the end of the day, it's the same kind of routing system. But the way he explained it is that it's more, with Beacon, it goes into the windows behind the scenes, and that's why you don't get that delay. Whereas Voicemeeter, I think, is more software based. So they do it themselves, and that's something like that. But I'm sure he could do it way better, so I'm not even going to try other than that. So far that's going well, and I'm just currently planning my setup video, or setup change and then video. Yeah, I mean, this is just classic me, isn't it? I'm just trying to stay busy at the moment, and that's something that's a part of it. So that's the last 2 weeks, what I've been up to. There's not much else. I am looking into a couple things. There's one thing I'm doing today, a plan for this coming year, not to do with a secret project, but for those who don't know, there's a secret project we're working on that I've mentioned, and I can't talk about it. There's another thing I'm looking to start, but I don't want to mention that yet. On the next journal, I might talk about it, because by then you might have already seen it announced. But then I can talk about how I've been planning it. Because what is it about? I've been having trouble sleeping. Last night, I go to bed at midnight and I fall asleep at 4. So often recently, I'm tired, I go to bed, and then my brain spins into overdrive and starts planning things. Last night it was so bad, I had to get out of bed because I was just laid there like, I had something on to distract me in like audiobook, wasn't listening to that. I put on a YouTube video that I can listen to. That's usually how I fall asleep. Usually works. I fall asleep in 5 minutes. But no, yesterday my brain was just planning things work-wise. So it got so bad. I was like, well, I'm just bored. So I got up and watched an episode of Modern Family to try to like reset my brain. And that kind of worked. I fell asleep when I went back to bed after that. But yeah, recently, man, my brain's just in work mode when I go to bed. And I'm like, why can't you be like this when I wake up? So that's it. Shall we read some questions from you guys? As I said, did I mention this? Hobo has summarized some of your questions. Let me find the link here. So these are questions that you guys submitted in the comments of the first diary. So we've kind of summarized some of them. And I'm going to go through them. And if you have any questions for the next journal, diary, put it in the comments in this video. And I'll try to follow up on it. So how do you choose your stream/content? How do you decide what content goes to the main channel? How do you choose your stream/content? I'm not really sure what you mean by that. But in terms of content, I have always said that I need to play what I want to play. Not to say I don't look for suggestions, but people are often asking like, well, if you're struggling finding a game, why don't you just play one of your thousands of suggestions? I look through the suggestions, but I'm not going to play it if I don't want to play it. And I don't know how to make it more. You know what I've noticed the last couple of years especially? I sometimes get surprised, but very often I can tell just looking at a trailer if I'll enjoy the game and if it'll be a fun game to play. And certain games I can really tell I won't enjoy. So how do I choose what I stream and content? Simply if I'll enjoy it. And that's about it. Like if a game pops off and I don't enjoy it, then I'm not going to play it. Because I don't think, even if I could get views short term from it because it's popping off at the moment, long term I'll lose viewers because you'll lose interest in watching me because I'm not enjoying myself. Nobody wants to watch a guy stream a game not enjoying himself. And that's why you see streamers maining one game. There are a lot of Siege streamers who struggle just playing Siege now because they stuck to it for too long and they were scared of switching game. Switching game because you want to me, is beneficial even though you'll lose 50% of your audience. If you're a Siege streamer and you've been streaming it for the last 5 years and you're suddenly feeling like, holy fuck, I can't do this anymore. And then you try hopping on another game and instead of having 1,500 viewers, you have 600 viewers. That's still worth it in my personal opinion, my personal professional opinion. Because long term, it's only going to get worse. If you keep playing this one game because that's where your audience is, it's slowly going to go down over time. Obviously, there's going to be cases where it doesn't. If you're a guy who's really good at the game and you're not personality based, then it's still fun to watch you even if you're not enjoying yourself because you're still a beast at the game, right? But mental health wise, long term, content wise, entertainment wise, for me personally, I focus on what I enjoy, not what brings the viewer numbers, even though that'll lead to more viewer numbers. I'm making sense, and I'm not going to fucking go deeper. I'm rambling at this point. So that's how and as for choosing what I stream, if I want to play a game that I know doesn't do well, then I don't mind not streaming it. So I used to stream a lot of Rocket League, and I was streaming it even when people didn't like it. But like, if I want to play Rocket League today for 2 hours, I wouldn't stream it. I'd just hop on and play. I'm still recording, and if something funny happens, then I don't know. Then put it in the mishmash. But Yeah, so sometimes I don't stream it if I know that there aren't a lot of people, because at that point I think I might lose viewers long term as well. If I suddenly do 3 Rocket League streams a week, some people will be like, oh, this guy's just playing this. I'm not interested in him anymore. Boom, unfollow. So there's a little bit of a balance, perhaps. It's not as easy as just hop on with what you like. Sometimes you do have to think about that. Maybe you're putting people off so much that they'll just lose complete interest in your channel and find a new channel. So that's it. How do you decide what content goes to the main channel? If I play a game and there's enough highlights for its own video, then I say, hey, editors, whoever's free, like, can you make a video off of this? These 2 sessions should have enough for a video. If I play a game, let's say I'm playing Binding of Isaac, that's not going to be a video on the main channel. It's going to go up on Mortio as long as I had a good time, because I know that people will want to watch me play it. But on my main channel, I have a very high bar in quality, so I'm not going to make like a shortened. If I was someone like Jack Frags, then where I'm doing a video every day, every other day, then I would make a video of that. I'd do a Binding of Isaac video, and and it would be entertaining, I'm sure. Like I feel that I'm entertaining enough that I can make a video of it, and it can go on the main channel. But I'm not that kind of YouTuber. With my main channel, that's, for me, my main channel has a very high bar. So I only do stuff that I don't just think is entertaining, but is funny and like where I feel like there's 2 or 3 clips in there that are guaranteed to make you laugh. That's what my focus is on the main channel. Didn't used to be like that. I used to do daily videos. Used to do, here's a TTT round, here's this, here's that. But YouTube has changed. And for me, I feel this is the way to keep my channel alive. Sometimes I wish it was different. Sometimes I wish I could do more casual content on my main channel. But I've seen no indication so far that that will do well. And that's the unfortunate truth. I'd love to hop on a BR, play, and then just put up the highlights on the main channel. And knowing that it won't make you laugh, but it's just entertainment. But the simple truth is I don't think it would do well. And I think in the long run, it's a risk, right? So here's what I think with YouTube. The algorithm is so unpredictable, and I have something that's working now. So if I suddenly say, hey, I'm now going from 1 to 2 videos a week that are like highly edited, high quality, to 4 videos a week, where 2 of them are kind of more casual. I think that would be fun, and I think my viewers would enjoy it, but I'm scared. I'm scared of the YouTube algorithm because I don't want to lose what I have right now, right? If I do that and it fails, and suddenly I take a hit, and then I'm worse off than I was, I would never forgive myself. Like, it's one of my stresses of my job, is that there's a big part of it that's so fucking unpredictable, and there's nothing I can do about it. So how do I decide what content goes to my main channel? If there's enough in it to make its own video, I'll know, because I just know. I can feel if there's a lot of moments that are funny. Then I'll tell them to make a video. If there's just 2 highlights that are kind of funny, then that goes in a Mishmash. Simple as that. The Mishmash series for me is a godsend. Every streamer needs a series that's basically stream highlights. Mishmash to me is stream highlights. It's just, I play for 4 hours, and it's a great stream, but there's only 2 clips I would put on my main channel. If I didn't have Mishmash, so to have a variety series like Mishmash is perfect for those kind of games, and it makes me stress way less about what goes on the main channel. As to what I said about like casual content and stuff, that's what I like to do with Mortio. Mortio I experiment with a lot. Every now and then I do something different here, like this. And it's just a lot of fun trying out things here. And it does well, but I don't know what would happen on the main channel. I got something good going there, and I don't mind the system I have right now, even though it can be very stressful. Especially if you have a month where you're feeling bad, because it's hard to be, it's hard to, a highlight that makes you laugh probably won't happen as often if I'm not feeling funny or like happy. So it's a little insight to that. How do you decide what VODs go to Mortio? Basically, if I try out a game and 45 minutes into it or an hour and a half, I'm like, I'm not really feeling this, guys. Then I'm not going to put that up. So how do I decide what goes to Mortio? Was I entertained? Was there a good viewer reception? And do I feel it's an entertaining session? Sometimes I'll play a game for 2 hours. I'll have enjoyed it, but I'll think, the people on Mortio want to watch that. An example of that would be a game that I enjoyed. So it has to be, if I hop on and I play Overwatch for the 72nd time, then I'll only put up a part of that if like there's a streak of good games or something. I'm not just going to put up every session. But an example of a game, so if it's a new game I'm playing and I enjoy it, I'll put it up. But sometimes, no. I played Not for Broadcast. No, sorry, that I put up and it did well. That's an example of something I put up. Bots Are Stupid. I played it for an hour and a half. It's a development game. You code how to get a bot to the finish line, and you code like go right, hook left, stuff like that. And that was fun. But I don't know. I just don't think it would be fun to have on Mortio. And Mortio does really well. Mortio in December is something that's going to blow your mind. In December, from Mortio, that wasn't as high as usual. Hold on. Yeah, about 40%. So 40% of what I made on my main channel, I made on Mortio, which is insane. I don't think I can convey how insane that is. So let's say if I made $20,000 from my main channel in December, I made about $6,000 to $7,000. Is that 40%? From Mortio. In terms of work put into these channels, that's insane. Like, I pay Flash to put up VODs on Mortio and make the thumbnails. But in terms of how much money I spend to have Mortio running, is nothing compared to what I spend on the main channel. If you look at costs, actually, for my editors on the main channel, and if you deduct that from my earnings on the main channel compared to Mortio, I think it gets to about, just profit Mortio versus the main channel, say about 75%. So my revenue that I made on the main channel, the profit-wise, deducting all editing costs, I made about 75% of that on Mortio. And so what I'm trying to say here is it's very important that I keep my quality control on what goes up on Mortio. A lot of people often say, I'll watch anything you put up. But that scares me. Sorry, I have a reminder set. I need to delay it. That scares me because maybe short term, I'll get a shitload from that. And you guys are watching every single daily VOD. But long term, I'm afraid that it would put you off if VODs that I don't feel are entertaining enough go up on Mortio. Like if some people say, why don't you just turn it into a VOD library? Some streams I don't think are as entertaining as others. And if I start putting up every single one, I think long term, I would lose the magic that I have on Mortio. That's what I feel about that. And you may disagree. Especially if you're watching this. If you're watching this and you're this far in, you're probably a viewer who would just put on anything I throw up here. But a lot of people who watch Mortio are people who won't. They'll watch what interests them and what's entertaining. And so I need to keep I do think I have probably a little bit too anal of a quality control, but it works for me. So what do your notes look like to editors? Ooh, okay. Let's see. What do your notes look like to editors? Let me find one. So here I have the notes. This is the notes I sent to Sunset for Overwatch 2 is a meme, uploaded on 22nd of November. So the way that we do things is my editor will make a first draft of a video, send it to me, I'll watch it, send them notes. Sometimes it's 1 note, sometimes it's 10 notes. Sometimes it's like a complete change. I'm like, ooh, I think we need to completely restructure this. It all depends on what the video is. And then they'll take those notes, they'll change it according to the notes. Sometimes they'll disagree with something, and that's okay. I'm very open to discussing it with them. Like, I'll say delete this, and they'll be like, I'm not going to delete this. It's really funny. I'll be like, oh, okay, leave it then. And that's the way it goes. And then usually 9 times out of 10, that second draft, when they've changed according to my notes, is good enough. But there's 1 in 10 where I'm like, oh, can you change this and this? I'm sorry, man. They're like, okay, fine. Then go and change that. With Jeff, a third draft, where there's a second set of notes because he's still new. So there's more. I think he's still getting used to editing for me and stuff like that. So, but with Flash, Ducky, and Sunset, 1 set of notes is usually fine, and then it's good to go. So here are the notes that I sent for Overwatch 2 is a meme. There's a name montage where I get the names wrong in it. I said, does the name montage need a nice short little intro like the other 2 Overwatch videos? This one he actually said no on. He changed all according to my notes except for this one. He said, only note I didn't do was the intro for the name montage. I was going to name it Theo just saying shit because a few clips weren't even about names, but you just saying random shit. But I found the transition that I had to it was pretty nice. So we just left it. No intro. I said, yeah, cool. And then the note was, just as a reminder, there's another clip where I call someone maidenless, and Patty laughs a bunch at it, hoping you'll find that for the next Overwatch video. So there's a clip here where I call someone maidenless, and it made me remember. So I said as a reminder, like, hope you find that. There's another funny one. And then just a few notes, timestamps. So I said 3:08. So there's a clip where somebody misses. I don't even know who. Maybe it's me. And I just suggested to really show, a miss, which he did. Told him to delete a clip because I didn't think it was funny. I said that the T-editor segment needs an introduction, some sort of this is the night T-editor slowly descended into madness or something, because I felt that it was its own segment and quite random, and there's a build-up to it, and I think the viewer needs to know, oh, okay, like this is gonna go further, so that they don't think like, otherwise, if you don't do that, then the first clip or two, if they're not funny, then the people will be like, this turned kind of boring. But if you get an intro like that, then it's like, oh, okay, this is building to something. That's why we're seeing these clips. There's a story being told. So sometimes I do think those need intros, so he added that. And then I just said 11:30, perhaps caption Flash's Genji ultimate line. So it's usually notes like that. This is a pretty classic set of notes that I usually send. But sometimes it's less, and then sometimes it's more. Sometimes Flash will wake up to 35 new messages, and it's me trying to explain exactly what I mean for a big change I want to do. And that's how it is to edit for me. But I try to line it all up enough that one change is enough. But yeah, sometimes, unfortunately, when I watch the finished draft after I've sent this and they send a new one, I'll be like, this and this also needs changing. But that's quick. I mean, at that point, it's like, okay, boom, boom, render it out, and half an hour later, it's done. That's it. I'm sure they love me and hate me sometimes. Where are your questions? What makes each editor style different from each other? Ooh. So I think Flash's editing is a little more cozy. Because it's Flash. There's a bit of a cozy vibe to Flash's editing, I think. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Sunset's extremely good with transitions. Yeah, really, really good at flow. Sunset's his thing is the flow. I think that's where he excels. Not to say that the others don't, but like that's where he's a step higher, I'd say. And Ducky's really good with they're all really good with edits. I really like Flash's creative edits. They all do them, but like him when he did the ball, and there's a dinosaur clip where there's a bunch of, I like dinosaurs in Pogostock, and there's dinosaurs behind me. They all do edits like that. I always find Flash's really funny. But Ducky, he's really good at editing. And what I mean by that is like, he does like 3D shit. Like the Opera ads are amazing, and he does them from scratch. Like he spends the last one the last one I'm pretty sure he spent like 30 hours on or something. Like he can put a lot of time into something and make it look really clean. Jeff, it's too early to say. Something I've noticed actually, he does really good setups, like the one where I try to show how to do Polaroid picture, and he does like a tutorial. And the one where I'm on Shark Tank, edits like that, I'm noticing he's very funny with. They make me laugh. How much easier have you made your editors? Have your editors made life when doing YouTube without having to edit all the time? It's meant I could do other projects, such as this secret project I'm working on. I could stream more. I could stream way more. I couldn't stream nearly as much before. So it's made my whole life way easier, and it means I could do more content, which means more high quality videos. Yeah. Noticing this is going on a bit. Maybe I save some of these questions for the next one. I think so. Let me finish up on... Let me do a couple more questions here. There are quite a lot of questions here. So if you find that I didn't answer one that you put, feel free to put it again, but I'll do some more. I'll make it a thing that at the end of a video, I talk about a few things that you have asked about. So I won't do them all now. Do you have personal relationships with the editors, employees, or do you just boss them around? No, man, we have personal relationships, of course. Yeah. Yeah, not much more to say about that, of course. Not only Flash, but the others as well. Yeah, of course. Very chill. With Sunset, I try to... He's my highest paid editor because he's full-time. Full-time. And... I always tell him on a personal level, like when he gets a raise, I'm like, yeah, no, that's like, I think I ask him if he's happy with the pay and everything more than he brings it up, because I find that really important. And I don't think I do that as a boss, but more, I do that as a friend, I'd say. So yeah, definitely personal relationships. I think that's really important. If I was just bossing them around, then when I come and say, hey, we need a third draft on this video, they're going to hate me. But if I'm nice and I'm personal, they're not going to hate me. So it's a win-win all around, you know? Yeah, maybe they'll say something different. You feel free to ask them. That's about it. I'm gonna end it there. 45 minutes is nice. 40, almost up at 50. I'm going to be doing a video, I don't know if it's up already by the time you see this, but there's a video on the main channel where I summarize the year. I'm going to look at some stats from analytics on the year, do a bit of a deep dive, talk a little bit about how shorts have gone and live streams over the whole year. And I think, I think that'll be interesting to look at. Talk about what my goals are for the year. So I'm going to do that on the main channel. You'll see that there. Go check it out. Thanks for watching. Any questions you have, put them in the comments. I'll see you on the next diary. Bye-bye. Boom.